The world decided that the best way to end off this year, that being 2020 2nd edition, was that we needed another big drop of a game release. And while yes, the multiplayer for Halo Infinite released about a month ago, the rest of the game officially released recently. I honestly haven't actually played any of the recent Halo games, anything that comes past Halo 3 or Halo Reach, with those two being my favorite in the series. I pretty much don't know any kind of lore that came after the events of 3 and Reach, nor have I played any new games that have come out since then. And so with that bearing in mind, let's begin Halo Infinite, a game that I pretty much know absolutely nothing about, but at least it does involve typical Halo stuff. For whatever reason, I actually had to install the campaign while I was in the game, since Windows decided to do the infamous "we're gonna make you wait because of course" cliche yet again. So instead, let's do literally everything else until it finishes. I want to preface that this game was a blagfest, although it did come out better through this recording. But please bear in mind that this game is running at 1080p with the medium preset, with settings that weren't set to medium right away were changed to it, and this was also running at full resolution scaling. Let's check out our Spartan ID, which is definitely not a state ID that I will use to get drunk on the UNSC Infinity a bit later on. For our service tag, let's make it something that makes sense. Perfect. I am an idiot at this game, so it completely works. I will also salute to a country that I live in that doesn't exist. I then hop into a custom game which is ran by none other than Azure PlayFab. What kind of name is that? Jesus, guys, come on. I then chose to mess around to familiarize myself with the game. And at its core, I genuinely enjoy the overall playstyle of Halo games, and Infinite delivers as well. Here are some random bits from the game, from that custom game. I eventually did end this custom game after some messing around and headed into a multiplayer lobby. Apparently, popular modes can be sorted to show just banned ones, but why would they show if they were banned in the first place? It's an interesting choice, devs. In this lobby, we're teamed up, 4v4, players versus bots. At least I think it is. And this is the only time you're actually going to see multiplayer in the video, so here's some bits from that adventure. I killed absolutely nothing. Sounds about right. The campaign mode has finally installed after nearly waiting for a half hour. So with that, let's get right into it. We begin with an introduction cutscene, showing that, well, things are going south, and that the banished ones are coming for that sweet Halo ring, while also destroying the UNSC Infinity hovering above Earth? I'm not really sure if this is Earth, to be honest, since the last time I really thought about this. I mean, Reach happened on planet Reach, so I'm not really sure. I don't keep up with the lore of the series. Chief kind of gets wrecked in a battle, and then we meet this handsome Chad by the name of Atriox. I think that's how it says it. We then wake up on a ship to this guy kind of having a freak out, and then he proceeds to do some things that, to be honest, probably could have been left alone. We then get the traditional dad is a bad dad, and the game industry has got to show a decryption to that syndrome, with a mom and a kid saying typical bad dad things through this random hologram type device. Then a signal of a friendly entity comes on the radio, and then Chief shows up in front of the ship because of course he does. We get woken up by Discount Master Chief, and then Chief makes the perfectly normal choice to return to the UNSC Infinity to search for something. We battle our way through some enemies and get introduced to the grappling hook. Now Chief can get himself a lady friend, which he also has in the form of a hologram. We then enter this room to find this guy, who clearly is having a typical reaction to what happens when your console gets a red ring of death. We then find this hologram, which for some reason kind of gives me Doom vibes, to be completely honest. The atmosphere of this game, by the way, is also really good, so good job 343 and Xbox for making this game an absolute masterpiece in the visual department. And after battling through a large amount of enemies, we find this audio log. Think of these as your collectibles. We then hear that some people were trying to make their way to the surface using some landing pods from the UNSC Infinity. So naturally, they're probably dead. We battle for a while and get another cutscene, and we then learn that the Banished want to control Zeta Halo and wipe out humanity. You know, like every alien race probably wants. I then destroy the UNSC Infinity's power and blow up the engines by, quote, heating them up. This guy recalls that he thinks that we were dead, and then he totally says that we could just blow up the ship, and he's perfectly okay with it, because we'll still come looking for us even then. This guy's a pretty good guy, isn't he? We then make a pretty intense and super cool looking chase scene occur to the Pelican where Discount Master Chief is waiting for us. And to be honest, this game looks really impressive on medium, so again, great job on the visuals. Now that is a cool shot. We then get picked up by the Pelican in space, and Chief has a moment to reflect, where we see that all other UNSC ships in the area have gone dark, and like this guy over here is having a moment as well. He says that he's invigorated that Chief is alive, which honestly, it makes me actually like his character even more. So I genuinely like this guy. We then return to the ring again because that's totally a good idea, looking for some kind of weapon. Yes, Chief needs a pistol for wherever he's going. In order to get that, he doesn't have to go back to Earth to like Spartan mission to whatever the heck. No, he's got to go to the ring to get a pistol, for his journey of course. I like the look of this place, yet I feel like I'm in the process of entering the Matrix, even though that new movie hasn't come out yet at the time of recording this video. Also, I'm gonna say it again, god dang it, this place looks gorgeous. We then meet this hologram Cortana, less cleavage edition. We learn that Cortana was deleted, and Chief was to bring her back to the UNSC Infinity to delete her. The hologram here, her routines, haven't actually completed, so we decide to take her on us with a new mission. We have to figure out why this hologram's deletion routine was stopped, find Cortana, who has some fragments of the activation index, which we're going to need in order to stop the Banished. We then, in doing so, we get a miniature backstory on Chief on the way up, showing times of when he was first in the Marines for Spartans, as well as showing his number and stuff like that. We then have a moment with some code here, but what does the code actually tell you? Well, it tells you that only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. We learn that this code is actually part of this hologram, and then we see a flashback to Dr. Halsey showing us an image of Cortana, Insane Cleavage Edition, to Chief. And I'm gonna be honest, she's kinda hot. We take the code and we continue forward.
What?
Also, hologram faces are kind of creepy. Here's some battle footage, because I don't know, you want to have a battle footage?
Surprise you, supposed to come to this.
We then find this dead Spartan on her way to the surface, and she was killed with an energy sword. I'm so sorry, may you rest in peace in the fact that you couldn't survive a multiplayer game. And now, another really good room. God dang it, this industry has come a long way with graphics, hasn't it?
Forerunner storage vessels. Silexes.
How do you know this?
I was stuck in that room for 6 months, surrounded by them. Let's just say they talk a lot.
We then have a boss battle with this guy. No, it's not the Chad, what we saw from earlier, it's actually his brother. Discount Lady Dimitrescu, or Lady D. Wait, it's not a lady? Okay, fine, never mind, we'll go with Mr. D. Wait, no, that sounds much worse. Oh god. Alright, screw it, we're going with it. After dying once to Mr. D, me and him have a pretty fun battle. We then activate the elevator and head up top to the surface. And there is where I'm going to stop because suspense. To conclude, Halo Infinite is dope. Its gameplay is great, and it fits both the feeling and fitting rights as a first-person shooter, while incorporating a wide range of tool sets to make sure that the gameplay is fresh and unique. And the graphics, man, let me tell you, this is probably one of the best looking games I have played in a long time. I mean, sure, it's at 1080p medium, but I mean, come on, how can you not like the look of this game? And although I might not completely get the story, since again, I've only played mostly Halo 3 and Reach and parts of Halo 4, it's pretty good so far from the story I've seen, and I'm definitely going to be continuing playing the campaign more. Not so much multiplayer, as I'm not much of a multiplayer person when it comes to first-person shooters. But it is on Game Pass right now, so if you want to go check out Halo Infinite, it's on Game Pass, so if you're interested, go check it out. But for now, I'll leave it at that. My name's PandaPowerSauce. Remember to stay saucy, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.